it certainly appears that you've been loafing for the past 3 months. Because I mean, what a lineup of games.
And it was more than 3 months, of course, in the background to do them. But yes, that's all in the near future. Essentially, what will appear in the United States.
Is there any break for you coming? I mean, as far as a rest and vacation or whatever.
I mean, for me, the games are my life, and I'm whenever I have a bit of time, I start doing new developments, and it's just so great having the time for it. And I'm not worried that most of my energy goes into this, because that's exactly what I want to do. That's what I enjoy, and that's what I really think I can make a contribution. And as long as people like the game, that's the most important thing to me. And that's also a big challenge to make sure that the expectations of the people after the games I've done are not getting disappointed, of course.
Well, that said, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up something that is very, very hot on the internet as far as discussion, and I guess you saw this coming, so I'm going to ambush you here. The name of the game that everybody that seems to be talking about, at least, is Lord of the Rings. Is this a single game or a trilogy?
That is a single game, but it is not so easy to answer, actually, because when we talked about trilogy with respect to Tigris and Euphrates, I explained that this game opened the field, as I said, opened the drawer, and made me explore a totally new area of how a game can work and how I can set a game. And that, of course, sparked off some other games, which then people called a trilogy, which probably subconsciously only happened with me. And I think Lord of the Rings, the game which I have developed over the last 18 months, is again I have used to open a totally new area for me, because for me the challenge was to capture the spirit of the book. I mean, there are, as we know, there are quite a number of Lord of the Rings games out there, but they are mainly fighting of hobbits against these monsters and so on. And I don't think that the spirit of the book is actually about fighting. The spirit of the book is about personal growth and the fight of the good versus the evil, but more in the character area and less in the area of just a simple or basic fighting. And I also wanted to stay very close to the book. That means that the events and the episodes of the book show up there, which is of course not very easy with a book which has so many pages. And with my essentially philosophy of not making it much longer than an hour, and of course making the rules in a way simple so that you can have an easy entrance, but again with a big depth of play developing. And of course the other thing is that I wanted to take the viewpoint of the book, which is the viewpoint of the good side, and that means there is no player playing the bad side. The game itself. Sorry?
I was going to ask you that, whether one player would be playing the evil or several players, and you've answered that now.
No, the game itself, the mechanics of the game plays the dark side, and Sauron comes out of the game and is a figure in the game, but is not guided by any player. The players are thrown into this world, and the players go through Middleearth and go through certain adventures and scenarios, and in each of those adventures, the events come up, exactly the main events from the book, but you don't quite know when they come. You see them coming, you don't quite know when they come, you don't quite know how to master them, and the pressure of the game is extreme, and that means there is no big discussion if you start backfighting or if you cooperate. You do cooperate because otherwise death is imminent in a way. So what I wanted to do is create a cooperative game where people do not have to agree to cooperate, but are in a way very naturally linked into what do we do to overcome this and how do we get there. And it has a lot of the basic features from the game in there without the rules being too complex, because lots of these events appear on the board, and when you reach it, then you see the event, and then you have to master the event.
Well, I was surprised to hear, and I could be wrong because everything is rumor anymore on the internet, but I understand there's like 4 boards in the game?
Yes, that is correct. What I have a master board in there which leads essentially a basic map through Middle-earth, and then I decided to take 4 scenarios out of the book. For me, very main scenarios, the big challenges and the big struggles, and to go through these. And in each of the scenarios, you can be successful or you can simply not succeed, and therefore your journey ends there. Of course, the objective is to finally destroy the ring. And so the last scenario plays in Mordor, and you try to get up Mount Doom, and of course you try to distract Sauron, so the others are marching towards Mordor as well, and finally destroy the ring. But before that, of course, you have to deal with Shelob and Shelob's lair very clearly, and Helm's Deep is of course before that, and then of course I don't think that anybody wanted to miss Moria, so that's the first adventure. Where you need to go through. And of course, on the master board, you will have then Rivendell and Lothlorien, and of course, you start out at Bag End, all the nice places. And there are some activities there as well, but that's less a struggle. That's more regroup your forces and see how you want to look after your spirit and after your heart and your health to get through there. And it's cards-driven. You know that John Howe has done all the illustrations. So the original design of my game was also to say, I want to give him a lot of space to put his marvelous artwork on there. We have lots of cards, of course, in the game with all the characters and so on, but we have these 4 scenario boards, which are big posters. And the posters have some functional parts, but there is big, gigantic pictures on there, which I hope people will find impressive.
Well, I've seen a few of them, and to me they are. I'm not as big a fan of Lord of the Rings as other people, but I am anticipating this game greatly. And all the boards, in other words, are used in each game.
Yes, the order of. I mean, I'm not making up a fantasy game out of Lord of the Rings. I'm following the book, so you know that this is the order of the 4 scenarios. But what happened in the individual scenarios and how quickly you get into trouble depends on your activities and your decisions you take in the group. So you will always face some challenges, and you need to decide what you do. And people will have to look after themselves, because individual people can actually, towards the end of the game, drop out of the game because they don't make it. But the important thing, and sometimes it is even important that the player sacrifices himself so that the final player then can destroy the ring.
So there really is a cooperative nature to the game.
Sorry?
There really is a cooperative nature to the game.
Yes. I mean, you usually would think that every player is selfish and say, I want to stay in the game and I don't mind. What I experienced is that the pressure is so big and that the objective of destroying the ring becomes so overwhelming that players actually go out of their role and say, we need to do that. It doesn't matter. I will now do this. It will kill me, and I will still help you in the game by talking and by recommending strategies and helping you discuss the problems, but I will not have a figure, one of the hobbits anymore, playing for me. I will be gone from the game. And people do that, which shows me it's a real identification, where I need to go, yes?
I find that remarkable. I can't even imagine how this works, and I am very much looking forward. Just to wrap this up, when is this game going to be released as far as Europe and the United States?
It will be released in Germany by Cosmos, and it will be shown in Essen, so that's October 2000. The production samples will be available in next month, in September, and it will be published by Hasbro here in the UK, and also the plan is in France. Hasbro has also got the current rights for the States. I do not know what their timing and their objectives are for the States.
As far as you know, the games are going to be identical, or will that depend on the specific manufacturers?
No, they will all be identical. They will all be produced in Germany, manufactured in Germany. There will also be a Dutch version, and they are same basis, same rules, identical illustrations behind it, same gameplay. So nothing changed there except, of course, the language and the adaptation to the expressions in the Lord of the Rings translation.
Well, Reiner, I wish you a lot of luck with this, and I know a lot of people have been saying that this might be one of the big hits of the last 4 or 5 years. As far as in this country is concerned, mainly because of the popularity of the books. And I'm just hoping that's true.
Well, I've tried to make a very innovative epic game there with a very new game mechanics. And of course, you know, when you present innovation, there will be lots of discussions. And I'm excited to see how people will take it and how people will be able to cope with this new way of dealing with the dark side.
Well, as with anything on the internet, people will either love it or hate it. There is no middle ground.
Well, as long as they enjoy it, it doesn't really matter.
Exactly, and I'm sure it will at least give us that. Again, Reiner, we've tried something very unusual today. I really appreciate your effort. I hope the people watching enjoyed the Tigris Euphrates conversations we've had. I guarantee you, if you watch them, you will do better in the next time you play it. It's been a real experience for me, and I can't thank you enough for all your help.
Well, it was an absolute pleasure being on the show, and I really thank you for all the time you gave me on the show, and I absolutely enjoyed the discussions and all the material we covered. Thank you very much.
You can bet that I will be contacting you when Lord of the Rings is available, and we can do this again, hopefully, and have fun at that part of it. Reiner, again, thank you very much. This is The Boardroom. My name is Bob Schwartz, and for Reiner Knizia, I want to thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.